Hello everyone and welcome to another week of Keyboard Harmony 2. I have excellent news. We are almost done. It's crazy, but we really only have, I believe, 4 more videos to be made. 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 more videos plus your final performance. And then you are done with Keyboard Harmony forever, unless you decide to become a piano major, in which case you would have more Keyboard Harmony classes to take. Anyway, so you have 4 videos remaining and a final performance. Your final performance isn't for a while, but I would suggest start thinking of what you want to do, just to get you, have that in your head, be prepared for that. I will start with reminders today. The first thing I want to remind you of is if you are slowing any of the assignments down, that is fine. If we feel like you're going too slow, we can ask you to resubmit, but we won't penalize you for doing that. We'll just say, hey, this is too slow. Will you practice some more and resubmit it? So we're not going to take points off for that. And then I'm going to give you more specific, don't go slower than this week, because there's been some confusion about what is too slow, because really, what is too slow, right? So watch for that in my announcement that I send later. The other thing is I have some exciting news. Well, first of all, thank you for all of you that did your midterm evaluations. There was a lot of helpful information for us and a lot of things for us to consider. As the instructors for this class, things to consider for as we move forward for the remainder of the semester. So one thing that we are going to do is provide some extra credit opportunities. We haven't exactly worked out how we're going to do this, so watch for that. Hopefully we will have that decided by the end of today. But just to kind of give you a preview of what that looks like, we are considering allowing you to not do part of your weekly assignment without any penalty, but if you decide to do that, that would count as extra credit for you. So that's kind of what we're thinking. So anyway, okay, so that's the exciting thing for this week. I think that's everything I needed to say. So I'm going to go through our stuff. Let's do it. So the first thing is, this week we're back into scales. Hopefully that doesn't freak anyone out. Here's what we're working with. We're going through minor scales that start on a black key. Don't forget, when we grade scales and arpeggios, we will take away points for incorrect fingering. The reason fingering is so important is it helps you play more fluidly and more confidently, but it also, if you ever play a piece that has scales in it, doing 5/4, 5/4, 5/4, 5/4 all the way up the keyboard is not going to help you get through this. That being said, you can slow these down. You can play hands separate. If you play hands separate, you have to do both hands, but it takes a little bit longer, but that takes some of the pressure off. This week, when you play scales, don't go slower than 75. I think 75 is a good point where it's clear that you know the fingering if you can play it correctly. But for right now, I'm going to slow it down to 90 just to save us some time. I'm going to play through all the scales today, hands together, but I will give you a couple of tips to start with. So first, we're doing F sharp minor scale. With this scale, the thing that I am watching for is when I am crossing, which you do with every scale, but this one's a little bit easier. So this is what the page looks like. I'm getting rid of it, so if you want to see what is on the page, then pull that up yourself, but I'm getting rid of it so you can see my hands. So with my right hand, we're following this pattern of you play a black key, and then your thumb follows. So whenever you play a black key, you're going to cross to a thumb afterwards. So again, every black key is followed by a thumb. You see that? Going up with your right hand. This is really easy for me to keep track of, just because I'm like, it's not as hard to think about. When I'm coming back down, the trick is to remember two things. Finger number 3 goes to your C sharp, and finger number 4 goes to G sharp. So when I'm doing this, I'm kind of thinking of, when I'm coming back down, I'm thinking of a group of 3, well, a fake group of 3, a real group of 3, and then 4, and then 3, and then 4. It's a little weird starting at the top, but... So one other reminder, when you are playing harmonic minor scales, your 7th note of the scale is raised a half step. So in this case, E becomes E sharp, so be aware of that. One other thing you could think about, so with me, I'm thinking about where I use my fingers to play black keys. Another thing you could think about is where to put your thumb, which is consistent going up and down. So if you're thinking about that, that's a little bit easier if your mind works that way. Thumb on A, thumb on D, and those are the only times you get to use your thumb. Otherwise, you'll use consecutive fingers. Okay, left hand is a little bit easier. It follows the same fingering as B major. You start with a group of 4 notes, and then 3, and then 4, and then 3, and then a 4 at the top. And then a group of 3 coming down, group of 4, group of 3, group of 4. Another thing, just like your right hand, you can look for where your thumb lands. B, E sharp, B, E sharp. You could do that. Personally, for this one, I'm thinking 4, 3, 4, 3, and then ending. So I'm thinking of the groups. Okay, before I play this, how to practice this? I'll give you 2 suggestions, and if you would like more that you think would be more helpful, or if these are not helpful suggestions for you, email me and we'll find the thing that works for you, because not everything works for everyone. So here's my suggestion. Practice in groups so that you're seeing, okay, this all belongs together, this all belongs together, this all belongs together. So this is, I'm just grouping where I do not change my fingers, where they're already in a position. Sorry. Sounds gross, but it kind of helps you feel what to do. That's one way of doing this. The other way that I would suggest is play until you get to your thumb and then freeze on your thumb, so that you can feel, that's probably the hardest part, to get to your thumb, right? And then when you come back down, play until you've crossed. Those are just a couple of suggestions I have. There are more, always more. But main thing, don't forget to watch your fingering. That's what matters most of all. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play this at 90 with both hands. You only have to do one hand at a time. 75 at the slowest. So that's just another reminder. Here we go.
1, 2, set, go.
One more thing before we move on to arpeggios. Memorize this. I don't know how many of you are watching the notes when you are playing through, but I think memorizing this is a quicker way to feel comfortable with what you're playing. Okay, so F sharp minor arpeggios is a pattern of black, white, black. So we have a black key, a white key, and a black key. So the trick with this is to get your thumb on the white key, and if you're not playing your thumb, or if you're Okay. Get your thumb on a white key and then only use 2 or 4 to play the other keys, okay? This works for both hands. It's also nice because your thumbs both land on a white key, which in this case is A. So it's going to look like this. 2, 1 on A, 2, 4, 1 on A, 2, 4. Okay, same thing with your left hand. 1 on A, 4, 2, 1 on A, 4, 2, and then back down, 1 on A, 1 on A, and then to that F sharp. For everyone, another reminder, I feel like I'm full of reminders today. No twisty things. It's okay if these do not connect perfectly. You hear that? I have gaps in here. That's okay. It's going to allow less tension if you're not trying to connect everything, and it will avoid twisting figures. For this, I'm going to go 90 again, but I'm going to say 75 is the slowest, same as scales. Here's 90.
1, set, go.